All right, good evening, everybody. It's the Fantasy Sports Boss. Last minute decision to do a stream. It'll be a short stream tonight. Just wanted to get on and discuss the Cam Akers situation with all you guys, and also the mysterious Austin Eckler injury situation with his ankle. So we're going to get into that and some of the other news of the day. Devontae Adams, Saquon Barkley, Brandon Ayuk, a lot of injury question marks going into week 3, which begins tomorrow night with the New York Giants against the San Francisco 49ers. Like always, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification button, because like tonight, really an impromptu stream, you wouldn't have known if you didn't have the notification button hit. So very busy the next couple of days. Live stream tomorrow, live stream Friday, and of course the double stream on Sunday. All of the injury news and whatnot. But obviously the big news of the day, and anybody that saw the video I put out about less than an hour ago, we found out, and ironically enough, I was at one of my kids' softball games. So, hey, listen, I got to share the news wherever it comes, wherever I may be, right? Whether it's in the woods hunting, like Erwin pointed out the other day, or whether I'm at a T-ball game, what have you, that the news has got to get out to you guys. So, but anyway, it was relatively quick at the fact that the Rams really just wanted to get rid of Cam Akers, and they found a suitor in Minnesota. And it kind of makes sense because Vikings were in on Kareem Hunt. They were, it didn't seem like they were fully committed to Alexander Mattison, who, let's be honest, has been horrible the first 2 weeks, beyond horrible, to the point that really the Vikings knew that they had to make a move here. There was just no question about it. And there is some intrigue to me on this, just because we saw Cam Akers down the stretch of last season really perform at a high level, and he won people leagues last year. But then, of course, the season starts this year, and he has 29 yards on 22 carries. Something was going on in the locker room. He's butting heads with McVay. Whether he's butting heads with Matt Stafford, who knows? But the Rams quickly decide to throw in the towel. And the Kyren Williams season has begun. And certainly this trade with Cam Akers further boosts Kyren Williams' already soaring fantasy football value. Now, he's, to me, he's not a running back 1, even in a PPR league. He's a high-end running back 2. He's getting a lot of targets. He's going to get all the goal line work. He's being put in position consistently to score a lot of fantasy points. Now, he's not a game breaker. 100-yard games on the ground are just not going to be in the offing very often for Kyren Williams, because that's just simply not his game. But this trade does really solidify his hold on that number 1 job. Now, the other side of the ledger is now what happens in Minnesota, especially with Alexander Mattison. So, again, Mattison, I was very, you guys heard me say this all summer. I was very doubtful about him because we've never seen him over a full season perform as a running back 1, but whether he could do it and not just excel in small doses like he had in the past. And I know he's had a couple of decent games spelling Dalvin Cook over the years, but he wasn't good last year, and he's been horrible this year. So, I like the move by the Vikings. There's really no risk. I think they exchanged 6-round picks and they get Cam Akers off the Rams' hands. I'm sure Akers is going to be fully focused to kind of save his fledgling career. And I can see at least a 50-50 split right off the bat. And then Akers has an opportunity, if he performs well early on, to grab the lion's share of carries here. Already the comments rolling in. David Hobson traded Jamal Williams and Juwan Johnson for Cam Akers yesterday. You didn't lose anything, that's for sure. Hey, Ray, happy Wednesday to you. Would you flex Lockett or Flowers? Lockett for me, Jefferson and St. Brown on my wide receiver. I'm going to go Lockett. He's just consistently such a good force around the red zone that, Flowers, that's not his game yet. Jermaine Ford and Hunt. Wow. Yeah, listen, Jermaine Ford, and I screwed that up, which I'll tell you about in a second. The Kareem Hunt, on the other hand, I don't think is going to be a thing. I just don't see it. Really nervous about St. Brown for this Sunday. Hoping he plays. I think he will. Toe injury is tough, though. That's the thing, Rain. A toe injury could be very difficult for a football player. To Ayuk tomorrow, Aaron, I don't think he's going to play. And they don't really need him, honestly. They don't need him. They should win this game handily. And I'm a Giants fan. Thought on Hunt versus Ford. Zamora, it's going to be Ford all the way. So anyway, getting back to the situation. If you're an Alexander Mattison owner, now, to me, he's at best a flex and not a good one. You could put him out there this week, because I don't think Cam Akers is going to be ready to go. Even if he learns a couple of plays, it's not going to be until week 4 where, if he does get a decent allotment of touches, which I think he will, that will come in week 4. So should I start James Conner against Dallas D? Listen, I would start James Conner every week just because the workload is insane. So again, this is a no-lose situation for Minnesota. And this Minnesota offense, if Cam Akers could really take off here and show what he showed the second half of last season, this is a scary offense. I mean, beyond scary. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. They got one of the best receiving, the best receiver, top 2 tight end, because I do have Hawkinson now ahead of Mark Andrews. Cam Akers with Alexander Madison, I think can work. And, the offensive line is not great, but it's decent enough. So this Minnesota team, 0-2, they need to do something. I think this is a low-cost move for them. Would you recommend doing trades with your bench players, or would you hold on for more depth just in case? You want to have good depth. Now, one thing I always do is, like, when somebody loses a Nick Chubb, I try to see if I can help that person out by making a trade. I present it like I'm helping them out. Hey, listen, I got Tyler Algier on my bench. You need a running back. And then I throw, like, a Chris Godwin in the deal. And I ask for, Chris Olave. He's probably not going to get accepted, but, that you could work from there and try to get something done. Like I did for the guy who lost Aaron Rodgers. I traded I had Tua as my backup because I have Josh Allen as the starter. So I took Tua Tagovailoa and I paired him with Rachaad White, who was awful in week 1, and I got Kenneth Walker. Now, both guys, Walker and White, were good in week 2, but long-term, I like Walker over Rachaad White, and I also had Mike Evans, so I did not want to have 2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers on my team. Start Pittman or Reynolds? Oh, Pittman, for sure. And listen, Zonovan Knight might be more of a threat to Craig Reynolds than people are imagining there. And Craig Reynolds, I think Jahmyr Gibbs, it's going to happen. It's going to start ramping up now. Would you trade Garrett Wilson for Miles Sanders? No, I do not like the way this Carolina team is really bad. And I don't like the way Sanders is playing. Even in the situation with the Jets, listen, they're not going to let Zach Wilson sink the season. They're just not going to let it get to that point. 2 weeks from now, they'll have somebody else in, whether it's Carson Wentz, whether it's not going to be Matt Ryan, somebody like that. That is what the situation is going to be. They're not going to let Zach Wilson sink this season for the second year in a row. Gibbs, Monty, Algier, Khalil at running back. I still wouldn't do that trade. I don't like that deal. Trying to help and convince my friend that you start Reynolds over DJ Moore, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Reynolds is okay, but you got to start DJ Moore there. As bad as the Bears have been, they're going to probably scheme something to get him open on maybe some short dump offs and jet sweeps and things like that. So I still think you go DJ Moore. Start 2, tank down, Michael Thomas, Garrett Wilson, Lockett. Lockett, Thomas, you still go Wilson. I'm sorry. You still got to do it. Trade Swift for Walker. Yeah, listen, Swift to me, with Kenneth Gainwell coming back this week, he's not going to get 28 carries. It's just not going to happen. And even if he does, he's not going to physically hold up. The guy's always hurt. So it's just not going to happen. Pittman is Josh Reynolds. If Amon-Ra St. Brown is out, I would go Josh Reynolds. But if not, I'm going Pittman. And listen, the targets are there for Pittman every week. And Gardner Minshew is actually a better thing for Pittman than Anthony Richardson. Jameson Williams worth holding? I don't know. It's really annoying wasting a spot on him, and he might be a little too all or nothing for me. No, don't hold on to Noah Brown. Najee tried to warn me. Yeah, I told you about Najee. I told everybody about Najee Harris. He just sucks. He's just not good at football. And you can see that Jaylen Warren is just extremely explosive compared to Najee, who looks like he runs in quicksand. Would you start Swift versus Tampa Bay this week, or Herbert versus KC? That Tampa Bay defense is playing really good. But Roscoe Johnson, I don't know. That's a really tough one. I guess I would start Swift still because he's coming off. Listen, he's a more talented player than Khalil Herbert. There's no question. Justin Herbert, Kenneth Walker from Mahomes and Kamara. If you're getting Mahomes and Kamara, I would do that deal. I definitely would do that deal. And Kamara coming back is at the right time. Would Jaylen Warren take over the backfield? I don't know if he's going to take over. I think Mike Tomlin's very stubborn about this. I think it's going to remain 50-50. 5 points the last couple of weeks. Would you trade Puka Nakau for Chris Godwin? No. You could do better. Listen, you could pretty much name your price with Puka Nakau. By the way, guys, I don't know if you saw it. I don't even know. I think I had it set to private. I put out a podcast just about an hour ago. I think it's under private though. I didn't have it set, and it's kind of repetitive now since I'm on here. Yeah, I'll fix it when I get off the phone. When I get off the stream. So there's a podcast that I have, another drive time while I'm in the car podcast. I'll post that when we're done. But a lot of stuff I'm discussing today was on that. Would you start? Who would you start? Pick one. Damian Pierce, God, he's been bad too. But I tell you what, in the podcast, I talk about CJ Stroud, and who I really am impressed with, and not surprised by either. Algier, Warren, Kelly, White, tough matchup, but it's a tough matchup for White for sure. Damian Pierce, oh man, I'm not starting Kelly again. God, that's hard, man. That all of those guys are seriously flawed. I probably would still go Rashad White, George Pickens, or Olave. Olave, like 1,000%. I love Chris Olave. I mean, I'm the king of his fan club. But let me tell you something. Michael Thomas is getting a decent amount of touches and looks, so I'm very happy with Michael Thomas so far as well. I think I could get Kelsey for Gallup, Wilson, Swift, and Herbert. If you could do that, I would do that right now. If you can get Kelsey for those guys. P-Runs on waivers, you drop Gibson, Hubbard, or Hurst. I would drop Hurst for him. Why not? You know, if something again happens to Javonte Williams, you're already ahead of the game. That's the handcuff running back strategy. Yeah, you got to trust in Olave. Olave is incredible. All right. Not Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt. Listen, again, everybody has to just get in line now with this. No more drafting running backs the first round, especially maybe even the first 2 rounds. We're not even at week 3. Nick Chubb's out for the year. Austin Eckler, who the fuck knows when he's coming back? And I'm going to talk about that in a second because it sounds pretty ominous. Saquon Barkley, missing this week for sure. He's already been ruled out. Maybe even up to 3 weeks. Jamal Williams got hurt. Aaron Jones has missed a game. We're dealing with so much of the injury nonsense at the running back position already. You know, all the top receivers are fine other than Cooper Kupp. And we should have known that about Cooper Kupp. I mean, let's face it. You know, Cooper Kupp, not the signs were there that Cooper Kupp was going to struggle. All right, not even with his health, but it was the health more than anything. But the running backs are just not worth the investment. David Montgomery is hurt as well, so it's not good. Herbert and Walker for Fields and Eckler. No, I don't want anything to do with Justin Fields. Not a chance. Not a chance. And I talked about that in the podcast. I'll save that for the podcast. You guys can look at that. My thoughts about what's going on in Chicago. You don't think Jair will lock up Olave? Listen, he's really good, but Olave is a must start every single week. Fantasy Football Counselor saying robust running back. No, listen, I told you I'm 2-0 in both of my leagues. Now I'm trying not to trump my own horn. I'm very proud of it, though. The one league, both leagues, I win value. One league, I took James Conner, David Montgomery, and Cam Akers. So far, so good, right? The two, Montgomery and Connors, have been really good. Akers now is reinvigorated. My other league, Aaron Jones, who was awesome week 1, now he's hurt. I get that. Kenneth Walker, who I traded for. I remember I said Rashad White and Tua took a blow for Kenneth Walker. And Walker was a early mid-round running back. And then I had drafted Antonio Gibson. All right. So I'm fine with all, and Alvin Kamara. So all of those backs were value, and it's worked out fine. Meanwhile, I stocked up on all the top wideouts. CeeDee Lamb one league, Garrett Wilson another, Justin Jefferson, and it's gone really well. So that's what you have to do next year. You know, listen, the people out there that drafted Nick Chubb, I mean, they're already panicking. Like, what am I going to do? I lost Nick Chubb. You know, we've all been there. Your first round pick goes down early in the season. You just got this pit in your stomach. Like, oh shit, my season's over already after 2 weeks. Who am I going to pick up? Like, you start sweating, right? We've all been there. It's the worst feeling in fantasy. Worst feeling, not in real life, but in fantasy. So yeah, it's rough. Just dropped Josh Kelly for Akers. Good move. Also have Eckler and Madison. Who do you think? What do you think? Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you're protecting yourself with Akers there. I hate to anybody that has Austin Eckler. If he's not playing, I should definitely win my match. I don't think he's playing, Rain. I don't think he's playing. Is Taysom Hill worth the risk? Yes. I think so. Listen, they have nobody. Kendry Miller, if he plays, maybe, but they're going to give 10 carries to Taysom Hill, and that's all he needs sometimes. And 10-man PPR starters, Tua, McCaffrey, Huggins. We got Lawrence, Algier. PPR starters, Tua, McCaffrey, Walker. I mean, it looks good to me. Higgins, Edwin, Godwin, Brandon, got Lawrence, Judy. I don't have any issues with any of those players other than Tony. Tony, Algier, you can get rid of Rust, but the rest of it looks good to me. Yeah, running, and that's true, Riley. You always find difference-making running backs on the waiver wire. You very rarely find a receiver on the waiver wire. Pick 2. Hill, Josh Kelly, Pacheco. Definitely Pacheco. I guess Kelly. That's not a great, Fran, that's not a good, but definitely Pacheco. And now I would say Kelly. Trying to get rid of Garrett Wilson. Listen, it's going to be hard. Everybody knows what's up with the Jets. It's going to be hard to get him off your team. I mean, you're going to have to package him with something, a running back, maybe like a Rashad White, maybe a low end running back, and try to get, a Tyler Lockett. I would take a Tyler Lockett. You could shoot for the moon, try Chris Olave, or even Calvin Ridley off a bad game. Algier's touches going down. I think Algier's touches are going to continue to go down. Yes. I have pitched. Should I try to get a different tight end? Yes. Listen, we have seen a year and 2 games of this now. It's not going to change. Desmond Ridder was horrific week 2. I know they won the game, but he was so bad. I know we ran in a touchdown, but he was god-awful. Like, he stinks at football. But yet they're 2-0. You have to look at it this way. When you look at a matchup for Atlanta, if it looks like they should be able to win the match easily, like against Arizona, the game easily against Arizona, or one of the really bad teams in the NFL, then you bench Drake London and you bench Kyle Pitts. If they're playing a competitive game where they're going to have to keep up, like if they're playing Kansas City, Jacksonville, then you put in Drake London. All right, and Kyle Pitts, I guess you could try him out then. That's how you have to gauge going forward. Is it worth Graham and Dameon Pierce off the waiver wire? Yes, absolutely. I mean, listen, Dameon Pierce has got a lot of talent. That offensive line is really bad. That's the problem there. Laporta off waivers, very good decision. Pat Freiermuth, you cannot wait forever. That Pittsburgh team, that offense is broken right now. And that's another player that's, Kenny Pickett is just not the guy. I'm sorry. And I was cautiously optimistic with him, and it's just, not good at all. Gibbs and Garrett for Bijan, not enough. You could try it. Bijan Robinson is the number 1 pick next year. But I'm definitely holding Garrett Wilson. You almost have to hold on to him, Riley, because you're just not going to get what you paid for him. That's the problem. Kareem Hunt. So Kareem Hunt now in Cleveland, big deal. Jerome Ford is a guy. He had a really good game in place of Nick Chubb. I think, if he gets 30% of the touches, I think that's probably right in terms of Kareem Hunt. Now, he's insurance maybe. He was bad last year. The Browns, they let him walk. See ya. They didn't really make any effort to bring him back. So that's kind of telling right there, especially on a run-heavy attack, run-leaning coach like Kevin Stefanski. So that's a little bit of a red flag. I think he's just insurance, maybe a veteran guy to help Jerome Ford. But Ford, to me, is the guy. He's going to get about 70% of the touches. I think he proved himself last week that he could be the guy. He can get the job done, and it's his job to lose. What do you think of Swift this week or going forward? I think DeAndre Swift, the next injury is around the corner. Kenneth Gainwell is not going away. He's low-end running back too. That's how I have him graded. Hey, Erwin, how are you? Waiver defense. And I would waiver defense the past week. I waiver wire the defense every week. Although this year I have the Saints and they're doing really well. Cowboys defense straight up. I don't think you're getting that unit, Riley. You're going to have to give up a lot. They're really that good. You're going to have to give up somebody, maybe a Jahmyr Gibbs, because now the jury's out on him too. And everybody knows he's not going to be the bell cow back. And that Dallas defense is that unit won people their matchups last week. Traded Lamar, Swift, and D-Hop for Ridley and Fields. Okay. Actually, I'm not liking that deal, Matthew, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, because I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan and I am not a Justin Fields fan. But you're 0-2. I respect that you tried something, thinking outside the box. I'm fine with it. I just think he came out on the short end on that one. Yes, drop Kadarius Toney for Gainwell. Chase and Ramondre for Olave and Bijan. I love Olave and Bijan in that deal. Ramondre Stevenson is slightly downgraded from last year because of Ezekiel Elliott. I have the Cowboys what the value is going the other way. You could try a Keenan Allen. Try to get a Keenan Allen for him. That for them, that might work. Akers has shown flashes. Madison has not. Very true, Robert. Very true. It's been a couple of years since Madison had, a decent game. Would you trade Kadarius Toney for Cam Akers? Yeah, absolutely. Kadarius Toney has no value. I'm sorry. I think 10 different receivers caught a ball for the Chiefs last week. They just spread it around now. They don't have a guy. That's the problem. Would you trade Swift for Ramondre? That I would do, yes, because Ramondre, is going to get more work. Olave and Bijan is the guys I would definitely love to own. I just don't think Lamar's going to have his rushing value. He might not, rather. But I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan. This offense, it looks pretty good. And it's Zay Flowers. It's his offense, him and Mark Andrews. Richardson Fields going to go matchup base. Yeah, you could do that. You go matchup base. I don't think Richardson's playing this week. So anyway, getting back to Nick Chubb, I just don't think it's going to be a thing. I really don't. And I really just temper your expectations there. All right, let me get to the injury report. So, all right, we have our first super chat of the night. Blue Crew, $4.99 super chat. PPR, would you trade Amari Cooper and Montgomery for Higgins? I'm great at wide receiver position, only decent at running back. So you're getting Amari Cooper and Montgomery. I would do that trade. Yes, I would do that trade. The Browns are going to have to throw it a lot more. If you need a running back, I'm fine with Montgomery. I've had him, I have him just like, you want him, and he's been very good the first 2 weeks. Not very good, but he's getting the touches. He's scoring touchdowns. He's got that Jamal Williams role. So he might even play this week, maybe more towards next week. And the staff loves him. He's great in pass protection. He's not going anywhere. I think you do that deal. And thank you for that $4.99 super chat. All right, so Austin Eckler. There's been a lot of conjecture about what's going on here. He didn't practice again today. The coaching staff. Now, Brandon Staley is just a horrible coach. Like he's lost. He's completely lost. There is no timetable, according to Staley, when Eckler is going to return, and that to me sets off alarm bells, red flags, because they're not saying it, but I'm starting to think it's a high ankle sprain. He didn't miss, he missed last week. He already hasn't practiced this week, Wednesday. He looks iffy already for week 3. And, part of that issue I had with him coming into the season was all of that workload coming back to roost, coming to roost. And we're seeing that already. He's hurt. Josh Kelly wasn't great last week, but it was a very tough matchup. I think you got to cut him a little slack for that. But I'm very concerned about what I'm hearing right now with Austin Eckler. Thank God I handcuffed Ford to Chubb. Very good. I also picked up Hunt. You'd think that it was a good idea. I also picked up Gus because of the panic mode. Yeah, Gus is and Justice Hill is going to be out this week. I believe he has a toe injury, so Gus is going to get a lot of work. James Cook, who I love, Herbert, Gus, Sharp, and Hunt looks fine. If you want to drop one of them, Kareem Hunt, I don't think Kareem Hunt is going to be a thing. I'm sorry. I still would hold on to Charbonnet. Who's Herbert and Edwin? Drop him and snag Roscoe Johnson. I probably would do that. Roscoe Johnson is going to be the starter before too long. Absolutely, Eric. I agree with you 100%. Joshua Kelly, glad on. Yeah, I mean, there's better days ahead for Josh Kelly. The Eckler thing scares me for sure. I think Roscoe Johnson is good. All right, Jacoby Myers, limited in practice Wednesday. Devontae Adams is full. But now, here's the thing. Devontae Adams, game day concussion protocol evaluation. I've never heard of this before. All right. So is there a test that he has to clear to play? I don't understand what this is. He practiced in full. It looks like he's fine physically. But I guess this is something that we have to just keep an eye on. Maybe it's just protocol. I don't know. But that's a little concerning. And, he had a good game last week. Not so great week 1. This is a bad Raiders team. We saw how bad Josh Jacobs played last week. WrestleMania, I do think he's going to do something. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy. But this Broncos team can't get out of its own way. It looks like a repeat of last year. And again, Sean Payton Like, come on. Get Marvin Mims out there already. Like, enough of Cortland Sutton. We've seen enough of Cortland Sutton. Top 3 running backs are Swift, Cook, and Akers. Where trade Swift for a back. I don't think you need to do that, Robert. I mean, you could package Swift with something to maybe try to upgrade it. If Aaron Jones is clear and he's coming back, that's somebody I would try off the injury. Kenneth Walker. Would you trade White, Addison, and Roscoe for Josh? No. I don't want anything to do with Josh Jacobs. Guys, stay far away from him. Jalen Waddle did not practice. He's got the concussion. Looking iffy for him. Brandon Ayuk, game day decision with the shoulder. I'm not sure he's going to go. If he does, it could be a snap count. They don't need him. They have George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, McCaffrey out of the backfield. And I'm really not liking all this work that McCaffrey's getting either, which Kyle Shanahan did acknowledge this week, because this is a guy who's very brittle, had a lot of injury problems in the past. You want to just maybe see that dial back maybe by like 10, 15%. Because they got to get him to the end of the season. Offered me Mixon, McLaurin, and Cooper for Tyreek. Yeah. I mean, I see what he's doing. He's trying to do the volume play. You can't trade Tyreek Hill no matter what. That offense is just insane. It really is. That might be the best offense in football right now. And the Vikings too. They're incredible as well. Elijah Moore better at Tank Dell. I dropped Elijah Moore for Tank Dell. So that answers the question there. Like a channel. Greetings from Germany, Tomas. Oh, thank you, Tomas, and welcome. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining the channel. What do you think if Montgomery isn't ready? Who can take over his role? Bam Knight or Craig Reynolds? I think it's going to be Craig Reynolds. Bam Knight has been activated. I'm not sure how much of the playbook he knows yet. So I would say Craig Reynolds, Tomas. And welcome to the show. I'm not sure what time it is over there, but glad to have you. Never work and they would get shot down and vetoed anyway. Yeah, those trades never work, Hans. I mean, sometimes people try that, but I mean, I admit I've tried that in the past too. Would you agree now that Chicago Bears defense coordinators resigned to start any team against them? Yes. Yeah, I would, Erwin. Absolutely. 100%. Here's the thing, guys. Fantasy football championship week, right? If there's any Bijan Robinson owners out here, I got some news for you. So during the championship, week 17, Bijan Robinson is playing the Chicago Bears. Like, holy Christ, if you're playing Bijan Robinson in the final, you're screwed. He's going to put up like 200 fantasy points. He's going to run for 200 yards, score 4 touchdowns, and catch like 10 passes. So, I mean, Bijan Robinson owners, I don't care what the offer is. And listen, I passed up. I'm going to have a nightmare about this all season, I think, especially now that Amon-Ra's hurt. I remember, guys, I was asking who I should take and whatnot at the 8th pick overall. My work lead, I took Amon-Ra St. Brown. I passed on Bijan Robinson, who actually slipped to the 2nd round. Clearly, so far, not the best choice. Although, again, I always stay true to my belief in not drafting a running back early. But even in the beginning of the summer, I said the one guy I might make an exception for is Bijan Robinson. I did not listen to myself. I'm 2-0, though. So, yeah, Tomas, you're lucky, man. I wish I was a Bijan owner. This guy is sick. He absolutely is scary good, like a different classification of a player. And some more. No, I wouldn't do any trades on that team. I think you're good to go there. All right. Let me see here. All right. The computer's bugging out here. Yeah. So that's just crazy. Would you agree? Yeah. So and also the survivor pool. I had the 49ers. I don't know who I'm picking yet this week. I was looking. I've used the Ravens week 1. I used the 49ers week 2. Again, because my philosophy always is to go with the obvious pick and not try to be cute, because like Seattle week 1, right? If you went with the Giants week 2, it looked like you were going to lose that one until they had this like miraculous comeback. All right. I'm falling a little bit behind on the chat. Sorry, guys. Alec asked me a question. This guy wants to trade Trevor, Kyron, and Kareem Hunt for Mahomes on my team. No. And I also have Addison help as a creature. I see what he's doing there. He's trying to like buffer you. You can't trade Pat Mahomes, not for those guys. And listen, there is no proof that Kyron Williams is going to sustain this. All right. And he's not an electric runner. So I'm just saying, I wouldn't do that deal. Try to do better. All right. I'm just going to offer, what do you think? Trade Kyron and Mike Williams and get DJ Moore, Drake London. No, Nick. No, nope. Not a chance. Not a chance. Do not touch Drake London or Khalil Herbert. Both of those guys are radioactive to me, and DJ Moore. That guy's trying to get out of shitty offenses and dump those guys on you, Nick. Don't do it. Javier, need help in my lineup. Redraft, one quarterback, two. I'm going to pick a 0-2 team, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Lamar, fine with Lamar and Goff, man. I mean, this is two good. Bijan and Kyron, Kelly, Cook, Eckler, Lockett. Man, you just had some bad luck. I mean, this team looks good. Your tight ends, I mean, Goddard's been bad. I get that. Who would you start? Who would you bench? I mean, 2 running backs. You start Bijan, obviously. And I would start Eckler if he's healthy, but he's not. And then or Cook over Kyron. And then Lockett and A.J. Brown for sure. That team looks good, Javier. Listen, stay the course. I think you just got some bad luck. That's my take there. I think that team is really good. Someone wanted to trade Hill, Jacobs, Addison for my McCaffrey, Waddle, and Godwin. I mean, it's fair. I don't like giving up CNC. Yeah, I'm fine. And Addison is very touchdown, big play dependent. I'm with you on that one. I'm not going to go for that one at all. I would reject that. Taysom this week, yeah. I think I'm going to do – he might be a flex for me. I'm not sure. I think so. All right. Sorry, I just got to send a quick text message. All right. All right, let me go back to the injury report here. All right, Donovan Wilson. We don't care about Donovan Wilson. All right, Tony Jones signed to the 53-man roster, so he scored twice. So, I mean, they might have to use Tony Jones, but again, Taysom Hill doesn't require a lot of carries to score, right, and put up decent points. Tank Dell has some kind of a thigh. It looks like he's going to be okay, though. I'm just trying to see any of the other major. No issues with the right shoulder for C.J. Stroud. And I talked about C.J. Stroud in the podcast. So when I'm done with this, I will post the podcast. So look for the podcast. It's like 15 minutes. And it was when I was driving home. Kendrick Miller was a full participant. So we need to watch this as well. Amon-Ra St. Brown and David Montgomery did not practice. Toe and thigh respectively. So we need to keep an eye on the Detroit Lions. No Jamal Williams. I mean, listen. I think Jamal Williams, we could pretty much cut him. I don't think there's any purpose in holding on to Jamal Williams at this point. I really don't. All right. Traded Gibbs for Ridley. How can I improve? That's a good trade. Hey, I like that deal. Fields is the problem, Boba. Fields is the problem. Bijan and Breece Hall is fine. The Jets, they're going to use him more going forward. A.J. Brown, Ridley, Hunter Henry. And listen, how about Hunter Henry, guys? This, we heard a lot about Mike Gesicki this offseason. Hunter Henry has been really freaking good. I mean, he is the first read in the red zone. So if you're a tight end, you're the first read in the red zone, a la Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce. Now Hunter Henry, that can hold your standing all season as a must-start guy. Hunter Henry is right now on that board of being that kind of guy. Montgomery, yeah, Bob, I think the team is fine. I don't think it's that bad. 0-2, 14-team league, crazy weeks. Yeah, Tomas, you got to stay the course. 0-2 is tough. Trading Derrick Henry, Raheem Mostert, and Jamal Williams for Darren Waller, Myers, Smith, Stevenson. Yeah, I would do all those moves for sure. You get rid of those guys. Drop Tank Bigsby for Akers. Yes, I would. Would you do this trade? I get D-Hop and Mixon for Ayuk and Rashad White. I probably would do that deal. Yes, I think Monty plays this week. I think it's 50-50. He's he's a tough guy. A thigh, it doesn't – listen, I'm not a football player, obviously. I mean, I coach it. I played in high school. But a thigh injury, I know that's tough for a running back, but I can't imagine that, unless it's really severe, keeping him out. So I would say that he plays. You think starting Purdy this week against the thin Giants team is great upside? If not, when would be the time to start him? Listen, if Josh Dobbs can look like Fran Tarkenton against the Giants, then you absolutely start Brock Purdy. And I'm a Giants fan. I'm here to tell you, start Brock Purdy. Was it so worth picking up Kendry for week 1 because Kamara's coming back? I mean, Erwin, that's the problem. The Saints backfield is a mess, and that's why I unloaded Kamara because, they're going to want to get Kendry Miller work, right? Taysom Hill's going to steal goal line carries. Jamal Williams is not going to go away. He might even get goal line carries. So I unloaded Kamara in the deal where I got Mike Evans. So it's just one big mess there. You think Kincaid picks up later in the year? I debatable on that one. Not sure. Sam Laporta is the tight end to own as far as rookies. Amon-Ra 3 in my leagues. Aaron Jones. Yeah. Listen, I got Jones and St. Brown on the same team. Luckily, I'm 2-0. So I survived last week. Not sure if this week I'm playing the projected high scoring team. All right, $1.99 super chat from Prince Kuba. I hope I said that right. And thank you for that super chat. I really appreciate that. Would you trade Kyren, Waddle, and Pitts for Travis Kelce? Oh, geez. I hate Kyle Pitts. That's a lot. I like Waddle a lot. He may not play this week with the concussion, but it's Travis Kelce. I almost think Kyle Pitts is waiver wire trash right now. I think I would do that deal. I know everybody's excited about Kyren Williams, but we need to pump the brakes a little bit. He is not an explosive runner. Never was in college. He's not going to rush for 100 yards. He's not that type of player. He is not an Aaron Jones. He is not a Kenneth Walker. He will move the chains at 3 yards. He's David Montgomery, guys, with better receiving skills. Although David Montgomery was a really good receiver at Iowa State. I don't know if anybody remembers him, but no way in hell. Listen, I disagree. I would do that. You take Kyle Pitts out of it. He's nothing. He literally is nothing. And it really comes down to Kyren and Waddle for Kelce, which Kyren Williams up to a week ago was nothing. And Jalen Waddle, yeah, he's a low-end wide receiver 1, maybe high-end 2. This is Travis Kelce. I disagree. I would do it. I definitely would do it. Kyle Pitts is nothing. You can just take him out of that deal. I took Tyreek round 1, pick 10, Bijan pick 11. Wow. Have lost my first 2 games. I told 6 points. You have Bijan and Tyreek Hill. Oh, my God, Hans. That's rough, man. But law of averages, you're going to be fine, I think. So many injuries this year. Who are the handcuffs we need to look at, Boba? So Zach Charbonnet, again, is the guy that you really need to own in Seattle. Obviously, Jaylen Warren. Najee Harris plays every week, though. That's the problem. He never gets hurt. So those are 2 right there that you can think of. Tank Bigsby, Deuce Vaughn. There's another one. Deuce Vaughn. He looked good last week when he played. So I think that's another handcuff running back you need to look at. Elijah Mitchell, always with Christian McCaffrey in his situation. Amon-Ra Dalian this week. Western Turf Toe. Sit him this week if he does play. No, you never sit Amon-Ra St. Brown. A.J. Brown or Devontae Adams. I would go A.J. Brown. Hold on one second, guys. All right. Sorry, guys. Daddy duty called. A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams. A.J. Brown, listen, A.J. Brown's going to be fine. He was not happy last week. He was good week 1. But this is A.J. Brown. Think about it in Tennessee. He would have those monster 10-catch, 150-yard games, right? And then he would have the 4-catch, 40-yard game. He would go nuclear like once every 3 games. And I think he's going to go nuclear this week. Devontae Adams, I hate that offense. I love the Eagles offense. Let's say Devontae Smith ever gets hurt and he's very slight and small, right? Then A.J. Brown isn't gonna be insane. So I'm fine with that. 2-3 in my leagues, 1 of mine. Yeah, that's a good start, Death Lord, for sure. I don't know if Tyreek Hill fall pick. Tyreek Hill at pick 10. That's hard to believe. How about the people that drafted Cooper Kupp ahead of him? There were a lot. Drop Bigsby for Akers. Yes, I would do that. Tyreek Hill's always hurt, but he always plays. If Bower can't go, should I pick up Stafford, Russ? Not Russ. I forget. Are the Lions home? If the Lions are home this week, I would go Goff. If not, I would go Stafford. If the Lions are on the road, don't go Goff. I didn't look at the schedule. I'm going to do my picks tomorrow, and it was a rough week with the picks, guys, man. Oh, my God. So that Saints game was bullshit. That they had that game covered, and then the backdoor push. That destroyed that one. One with the over on the Commanders, Broncos, but then lost the other 3. So right now, 4-5-1 through 2 weeks. Not good. not good. So, I was 2-0 with leans, but I don't count the leans. So I'm going to do better. I'm going to aim to do a lot better this week. It was a rough week. And the Joe Burrow thing. So he's got a calf problem. It's not going away. I'm concerned. He's tough. I'm not sure he's going to go this week. So, Jake Browning, you really got to downgrade Chase, Higgins. Mixon will get a lot of carries. So I'm not as concerned about him. But Higgins and Chase, and man, how about the people that drafted Jamar Chase ahead of Justin Jefferson? There were a few, more than a few. My thoughts on Roscoe, I think long-term he's going to be the guy. This thing with Roscoe reminds me of Breece Hall at the start of last year. All right, Hans Cook, $1.99 super chat. Great content, boss. Question to follow. All right, thank you, Hans. I appreciate that. Very, very nice of you for supporting the channel. Thank you. Do I have hope for Jeff Wilson? No, I don't. I think he's being passed by. Listen, Raheem Mostert is doing Raheem Mostert things. Very, very fast runner, explosive guy. Keep him out there as your top running back too until the wheels come off. And it's going to happen at some point. So in the last games, you complain to Hurts. I feel like Hurts is going to make up for the past 2 games. Yeah, I mean, listen, they have a new offensive coordinator. Teams are scheming them differently as well. I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts. Josh Allen through 2 weeks. Yeah, Josh Allen has looked like the last game especially was great. Week 1 was ugly. Mahomes has been the best consistently. I think he's got 2 touchdowns in each game. So I'm in with Mahomes over Allen. Goff versus Atlanta at home. Oh, 100%. Then you go Goff. And like I said, I'm going to give you the picks tomorrow and give you my survivor pick as well. Goff 100%, John. Not even a question. All right, Hans, let's see. Team is Herbert, Robinson, Gibbs, Tyreek, Allen, Ridley, Laporta, QB. Thoughts? All right, Browns defense is good. Herbert, I love Robinson. Gibbs, I see you like the rookies, I see, that's for sure. Tyreek Hill, great. Allen, maybe try to sell high on Allen because I don't think he's going to stay healthy. And the touchdowns are never there last game notwithstanding. And Laporta is good. I have no problems. I love Ridley. I love Herbert. That team is so badly coached. It's not even funny how bad that team is coached. Yeah, Hans, it looks good. Maybe sell high on Keenan Allen. Maybe try to get Olave. Package Allen with somebody. Try to get Olave. Purdy, CMC, Gibbs, Olave, Puka in the flex. Lamb, Laporta. What would you improve this week? Lamb, Laporta. What would you look to improve? I don't think you really need to improve anything, honestly. Maybe quarterback because you got a guy that doesn't run. That's the only thing I would say, Rob. All right, $1.99 super chat. Erwin Garcia, boss, would you play Keenan at Minnesota or Puka at Cincinnati? Oh, boy. I would have to say Keenan. And now here's why. I'm going to preface it this way, Erwin. If Joe Burrow sits, it's definitely Keenan. There's going to be 1,000 points scored in this Chargers-Vikings game. 2 nuclear passing attacks. So they're going to go up and down this entire game. If it's Jake Browning at quarterback for the Bengals, the Rams are going to call off the dogs at some point, and they're probably going to run it quite a bit in the second half because they should be winning, right? Opportunity points to Keenan Allen getting a ton of looks. We know Puka has gotten a ton of looks too because the Rams have had to throw the first few weeks. Against a backup rookie quarterback, I don't think they're going to have to do that. Or second-year quarterback, whatever he is. So I would say Keenan Allen. That's a tough one, though. And thank you for the super chat. I really, really appreciate that. Made this trade a couple of weeks ago. Trade away Trevor Lawrence, Josh Jacobs, DK Metcalf for Bijan Tyreek Hill. Great trade. I think I'm going to get a long year. I traded away Lawrence, Josh. I think it's a great trade for Bijan, Tyreek Hill, Superflex. I have Mahomes and Goff. 2 weeks in, I think I'm good. But a long year. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, you're in for a really good year. I like that team. Drop Freiermuth for Henry. Yeah, you can't wait forever. And I really liked Freiermuth coming into the season. I can't believe how bad it's been. Would you trade St. Brown for AJ Brown? Because of you have him in 3 leagues, I would do that. Yeah, you want to diversify. I don't own, other than Darren Waller, I do not own the same player on my 2 teams. I don't try his history. Yeah, he's very slight. He's not a big whiteout. But so in your case, since you have him on 3 teams, I would do that. And you're welcome, Hans. I appreciate that. And thank you for the super chat. Start AJ Dillon this week. if Jones is out, top bench point. Yeah, AJ Dillon is just so uninspiring. Like, he really is completely uninspiring, AJ Dillon. Like, it's not even funny. Like, I just, it's just not, it's not fun to own AJ Dillon. Like, when he was a rookie, it was like intriguing. But now I'm like over it. So I don't think there's, if you could do better than that, I would try to do that. But yeah, so now as far as tomorrow, this Giants game, I'm afraid it's going to be a really long one for the Giants. It was inexcusable, the fact that they had to come back from so much against Arizona. It was actually pathetic, if you ask me. But Darren Waller looked good. Hamstring doesn't seem to be inhibiting him at all. And Daniel Jones is fantasy friendly. He's a better fantasy quarterback than a real life quarterback. He's fantasy friendly. He runs. Man, the guy is so much faster than I ever thought he was when he came out of college. Dropped AJ Dillon a week ago, kind of regretting it. Yeah, nobody did, because nobody wants him, because he sucks. Wait, so start Puka over Kenneth. All right. Yeah. So I would start Puka if Burrow plays, just because he's so freaking awesome, and you know what Stafford does. But if Burrow sits, then you start Keenan Allen. That's how I would do it. And thank you, Erwin, again for the super chat. I really appreciate that. So yeah, if Amon is ruled out, who do I start at flex? Raheem Mostert or McLaurin? Mostert, 100%. Start 3, half PPR. AJ Brown, Lamb, Ridley, Puka. Wow, never thought. Nick, comment of the day right there. Never thought this could be a question. Oh, that's good, man. That's the comment of the day right there. Oh, shit. I'm going to give you the same answer that I just gave Erwin. If Burrow's out, the decision is made. You go AJ Brown, Lamb, and Ridley. You start Brown and Lamb, no doubt about it. Like, that's not even a debate. I guess Ridley, maybe you bench. I never want to bench Ridley. I say bench Puka. Because here's the thing, too. Ridley is in a passing offense. Rams, they've been mixing it up kind of with Kyren Williams. It's not really a classic passing offense. I appreciate. Oh, thank you, Erwin. I appreciate your support. Should I offer Garrett for Aaron Jones or Kenneth? Yeah, I would. That's a fair trade. I love Aaron Jones and Kenneth Walker. He's been good. Nico Collins and Herbert for AJ Brown. What do you think? If you can do it, if he accepts Collins and Herbert for Brown. Wait, are you talking about Justin Herbert? If it's Justin Herbert, Nico Collins, might be pushing it. Because listen, CJ Stroud, this is now a passing offense, and this guy can deliver, man. And we've seen it with Nico Collins. AJ Brown, a little hot and cold, and Justin Herbert, who I love. If it's Khalil Herbert, absolutely do that. Possible to trade McLaurin for Deebo Samuel, or should I trade Mostert for wide receiver? For wide receiver doesn't work, because instantly the antenna goes up on the other party. Why are you trading me a wide receiver for a wide receiver? You can't do that. So you got to try the running back. And certainly selling high on Mostert is not a bad idea, because the next injury is going to happen soon. I know he doesn't have much value right now, but seeing Rashawn Johnson run over people, maybe want him on my team. Yeah, listen, it's coming. Just like Breece Hall at the beginning of last year, it is coming for Roscoe Johnson for sure, or Roshan Johnson, however you say it. Make sure, yes, hit the like button, guys. Thank you, Erwin. I appreciate that. This was fun tonight, guys. Like I said, this was an impromptu stream. I had no plan to do this, but the Akers thing, I wanted to get on. And listen, if you own Akers, you're not going to start him this week, because he's probably not going to know much of the playbook. But next week, it'll be interesting. And listen, if Madison shits the bed again this week, then it's all in on Akers as a flex for sure. Fantasy hero running back, 0 running back. I don't think so. I did the equivalent of 0 running back. Maybe not to the extreme. I was drafting running backs in like round 5, 6, and 7. So I know the 0 is like you draft them in like 7, 8, and 9. So if I had to pick, I would say hero. You get one top guy, that's fine. But I'm not doing that either. I am more conservative running back. How about that? Let's do that. Or value play running back. I'm going to make up my own strategy. Value play running back round. Starting in round 4, you take your first back. 4, 5, 6, 7. That's when you take your backs. And it's working for me. 2-0 in both leagues. Knock on wood. What do you think Kamara will do when he comes back, James? I think he's going to catch all the passes out of the backfield. 5 to 7 passes a game, and he's not going to get goal line work because that's going to be either Taysom Hill or Jamal Williams. And he's going to, rush for 60, 70 yards a game. He's going to be a running back too in PPR. He's slipped a little bit. He's getting up there in age, but I still think he's a very strong running back too. And thank you, Hans, for hitting the like button. Running backs are not worth first-round picks at the most injured position. Yes. Wide receivers and Kelsey, 100%. And listen, the Kelsey thing was a fluke. He's never been hurt before. So that was a fluke. Do you think JSN will be a thing soon? Hard to say. He's got 2 alphas ahead of him. That's hard. That's why I picked Zay Flowers as my prediction for top points among rookie wideouts. All right, guys. I think that's it. I'm going to sign off now. Save the rest of your questions for tomorrow. Podcast. I'm going to post a podcast when I get off of here. So look for that in a few minutes. We should, I'll be back here tomorrow to go over. So tomorrow is to the moon and to the bench. All right. Remember last week to the moon, I gave you Keenan Allen, I gave you T Higgins to the moon, worked out good. So we're going to do that tomorrow. Make sure you tune in, hit that notification button and subscribe button. I always have trouble with that word, subscribe button. If you haven't done so already. Until then, guys, enjoy your night. This was a lot of fun. I'll see you all then. Have a good evening, guys.